All right, geometry. Let's take a look at the midpoint formula. So if we know each of the endpoints and we want to find the middle of them, or the middle point, we can use this formula by plugging in the coordinates of each point. So x1 represents the first endpoint, x2 represents the second endpoint, excuse me, and then that would give us the x-coordinate for the midpoint. So literally we're taking their average, all right? If that helps your brain, think of it this way. You're finding the average of the x-coordinates and the average of the y-coordinates, and that is your midpoint. So let's give this a try. We have points G and H, and G we know is at 0.7, -5. So we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to take my x's, which are 7 and 9. So 7 plus 9 divided by 2. And then my y's, which are -5 plus -1, and then divide by 2. So that means we get 16 over 2 and -6 over 2. Well, we can reduce that to being 8 and -3. So that means our midpoint, M, is at 8, -3. All right, I'm going to have you try the next one on your own. And I want us to take a look at this one right here. So with lots of these, it will be very helpful to draw a picture, all right? For lots of these, it will be very helpful to draw a picture. So we want to find the coordinates of J if K is at -5, 10, and is the midpoint of JL. So we know we have 3 points. We have point 2 over two. Well, this is the x-coordinate of the midpoint, because K is our midpoint, which means this can either be x1 or x2. I'm just going to call it x2, because, 1, 2, which means our 6 is y2. So when I go to find the x-coordinate of this one, I know my xm, it's -5, so I'm going to plug that in for x sub m. And then I don't know the x-coordinate for j. I'm looking for it. And I know my x2 is -8. So we've got x1 plus -8 over 2. Another way of writing this could just be x minus 8. That would work as well, right? So I am going to multiply both sides by 2, so I can get rid of that and 1 it out. So we have 2 times -5 is -10. And then x sub 1 minus 8. To get rid of the 8, I need to add 8 on both sides. That gets rid of my -8. So I am left with -10 plus 8 is -2 is equal to x sub 1. So I know that this coordinate is a -2. Now I need to find the y. So I'm going to do y sub m is equal to y1 plus y2 over 2. My y sub m is 10. Y1 I'm going to leave, and then plus y2 is 6 divided by 2. So I have the same steps. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So 2 times 10 is 20. And then we have y1 plus 6. I need to subtract 6 on both sides. And I get 14 is equal to y1. So that means j is at -2, 14. That's its coordinate point. If I draw it like this, X and Y, and I put P here. If I do my dash marks, it doesn't matter if those don't look congruent. These little tick marks mean that they are. Even if they don't look it, they are. So I know that XP is 8x minus 2, and I know that PY is 12x minus 30. Well, I need to figure out the value of x. Hey, wait a second. If P is the midpoint, that means XP is equal to PY because P is midpoint. This right here is reasoning. I'm going to be asking for you to use reasoning and justification, I'll call it sometimes, throughout the year. So make sure that you are able to reference definitions or any of those theorems, that we've talked about. So if I set this up, now I can find my x because I know that xp is 8x minus 2 and py is 12x minus 30. Now I can solve for x. Let's subtract 8x on both sides. So we've got negative 2 is equal to 4x minus 30. Then I want to add 30 on both sides. So I get 28 is equal to 4x. And when I divide by 4, we get 7 is equal to x. Skills practice is posted on Big Ideas. Please let me know what questions you have.